Hi everyone. So I'm focusing on my John Maxwell and also on values. So John Maxwell says you can't teach business ethics. And I would agree with that. I would agree that the Old Boys Club is alive and well in Canada. So I want to talk a little bit about how to sabotage a career, how my career was sabotaged. So when I got my jobs, when I got my contracts in banking, everywhere I went, Eddie, Jane, and Eric would phone. And they would say, is she there? Is she there? We just want to make sure she's okay. Is she doing a good job? We want to be a friend. We want to be a friend. And everywhere they got told, stop calling. You're causing a disruption. She's doing her job. We got her in on a contract. We're trying to make her permanent. They carried on. They carried on. The other managing directors would get upset, and eventually they would let me go. So this happened at BMO. They put Jane Green on the speakerphone at BMO. And Bertrand Kwan asked her, if Eddie wanted to be her friend, why did you send her the cease and desist? And she had Tammy there with her. And she just kept quiet. So Bertrand said to me, why didn't you say something? I said, the police told me not to say anything because if it goes to court, then they'll use it against me. He said, really? I said, yeah, they came to my condo and they talked to me and they told me not to say anything. So to them, it was a big joke. Ha, 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 big joke, big joke. Everyone was making fun of it. And I was getting more and more upset. So eventually, when I worked at HSBC, I told Michael Carter. And Michael Carter said to me, you have to phone the police. I said, I already phoned the police. He said, no, you have to phone them from here and tell them. Every day I was trying to call the police. And then eventually the recruiter came on site and she said to me, I'm sorry that you didn't get to go back to England, but unfortunately they're terminating your contract. I said to her, but I did what Michael Carter told me to do. She's like, well, I'm sorry, they made the decision above him and they're not keeping you. So then I came back home and I thought, all right, I'll get another job. 18 months went by. I didn't get anything. I couldn't renew my contract, my mortgage, to renew it to stay in my place. I didn't have anybody to help me. And so I lost everything. And so now I've got this job. Yes, it's a good job and I do a good job, but it takes a toll on me because I'm not working in my strengths. I'm not working in my forte. My forte is not dealing with aggravated people who are shouting at you, swearing at you, yelling at you, calling you a bitch. That's not my forte. And when I apply to jobs in the church, I don't get selected. I apply to jobs in EY, they say, oh no, she's getting special treatment. Just because I was introduced to James Newlands through the South African Consulate General, I didn't get any special treatment. They just invited me because they were trying to help me. They were trying to open doors for me. So then I tried that. That didn't work. And I set up events for WITS. I went to the University of Waterloo. I was introduced to the MPs there. They came to meet me. And I tried everything. I tried to set up an exchange program for students. I tried everything. I got blocked at every turn. But now what happened? WITS had a symposium on this journalist and the corruption in the banking industry. And so lo and behold, the investment bank closed down. Now, needless to say, I am very happy. Why wouldn't I be? I'm thrilled that they got caught and all these people laundering money and doing all this rubbish. I'm so happy that they got caught because honest people should be able to get ahead. We should be able to buy homes. We should be able to create lives for ourselves, not going from contract to contract to contract, people making fun of you, laughing at you, saying, oh, they like you, meanwhile you're not getting any permanent jobs. I said, thank you to God. I said, you know what, God, thank you. I never told Wits to set up that symposium. I never asked them to do it. I never told them anything. They did it on their own with the investigative journalists. And I was so happy. I was thrilled. And then the other thing is, you can't teach ethics. You can't make people love you. So one of my cousins had told me, he said, you can't make people love you, Belinda. You can be there for them, but like if you're inviting them for your birthdays, for Christmases, for weekends, and they keep saying no, they don't take your calls, they're not open to listening to you, that means that they don't love you. And the police told me the same thing. They said, you can't make people love you. They said, these people, they're going to take you and leave you there in Sunnybrook, and no one's going to come and visit you. I just said to them, I didn't believe them. I said, we're telling you the truth, you better listen. Then it came out from my aunt's mouth. She told me herself. When I told her sister had told me, if you need space, if you need to come and stay, you can come and stay with us. We know things are hard for you. On my birthday, she cursed me. She said to me, you mean to tell me you're going to go and sponge off my sister? I said, I started crying. I said, I'm not going to go and sponge off her. I said, I've been trying to get work. I've been trying to do everything. And you should be happy that somebody is willing to take me in. She said to me, if I was you, I would go on welfare. I wouldn't go and sponge off people and live with my family. She's my sister. And she never mentioned anything about taking you in. So I was hurt. That was on my birthday. So I made a resolve that I'm never going to go back to their place. I'm never going to go back and stay with them. I didn't say anything to her. I just said thank you. She made dal curry and rice for my birthday because I was there. My godmother was working, so she couldn't come. But I usually stay with my godmother. I don't usually stay with them, but they had a spare room, so I stayed with them. And I was at my lowest point. So I never told my mother all along. I only told her this year. I said I want her to stop hurting me. Because what happens is, in everything, I do all the work and then my aunt's family gets involved. The same thing happened with Roger Federer. I did all the work. I supported him. I helped him. Now they're saying, oh, Zara likes him and this one likes him. I don't care who likes him. If Roger wants to involve the rest of the family in helping him, then he must leave me out. Because if I do the work, I want the rewards. And that's one thing Roger must know about me. If there's other people helping him and he's giving them rewards, then he must do it for them. He mustn't make it about me and everybody else. I'm tired of it. I always put in the work and other people get the benefits. Same thing happened with my mom. I put my foot down. I said, Mom, I also want time with you. I also want to create memories with you. My aunt got offended. She said, I didn't like that email you sent to your mother. I said to her, that email was between me and my mom. It's not for you. And then she said, I don't want to discuss it. I said, yeah, when I tell you, then you don't want to discuss it. But if it's you calling the shots, then you want to discuss it. I'm tired of it. I'm not a child anymore. You can't teach ethics. The police said to me, he said, these people don't love you. He said, if they loved you, they would stand up for you. They wouldn't let you go and live on welfare or live in put you in the asylum or whatever. The police told me that. So you can't make people love you and you can't teach ethics. Just like all these guys that went around spoiling my reputation, telling everyone they like me, making a big joke out of everything. It wasn't right. My only regret is that I don't have any money. I fear losing my job because I don't have any money. And I've worked damn hard in this country. I've put in the effort, I've made the effort, I've worked hard. And because of the old boys club and the people supporting them, my life has been spoilt. I was the one that told Roger Federer, why did you move your money? Did you see what's happening to that bank? Because he used to put his bank details and everything on his website. I said, your bank is going to fail. I told him, just like I told him not to have that operation, he didn't listen. So I'm not helping him anymore. Let him do what he wants. Now listen, some people love their money and some people love the people. That's how it goes. I've been listening to Elvis from the time I was a little girl. And I've realized that there's two kinds of people in the world. There's the Elvis kind of people that say it's got everything to do with us. And then there's the people who only love money. That's how it goes, unfortunately. So, Elvis loved America. I also used to love America until I realized what they do. It's a beautiful country, but their language and the way they speak to people and what they do. Even here in Canada, we've got a big drug problem. In the name of love. Oh, let's open up injection sites, let's help them, they can't do without it. We didn't have all these problems before, and the church supported it. I went to a talk that Regis College held, and there were people there, young men and women who overcame their drug addictions. And some of the people at Regis were supporting it. They're saying, oh no, but we support these injection sites and all that. And now look at what's happening in BC and all over. And you can't tell me all these fires that are springing up, over 1,000 fires. You can't tell me it's not a punishment from God. They can't put them out. They put out one, the fire jumps, it goes somewhere else. They put that out, it jumps, it goes somewhere else. So, I'm telling you it's a punishment from God, because people don't want to stand up for what's right. The church makes so much money, but they pay measly salaries. Some of them, they say you have to raise your own salary. So raise your own salary and come and work in the church. God will provide. What rubbish is that? They're making so much money selling their products and all that at all these places. So, anyway, what can you do? I chose to come to Canada, so I have to just persevere and carry on. But if somebody was coming here with small children and all that, I'll tell them, if you got a good job and you are comfortable where you are, don't come. Because it's very, very hard here. It's very hard. And if people get together at the top and decide your career is going nowhere, they just shut it down. You can't get anywhere in life in this country. I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing to deserve my reputation being spoiled. I've done nothing to deserve that, to say people are going to take me and leave me in Sunnybrook. I wasn't sick, but they were going to do it to protect themselves. I've done nothing wrong. So that's how they do it. You think Africa's bad. These things happen here also in Canada. They happen all over. It's not only there it's bad because it's the extent of it is so deep. The rot is so deep. But it happens here too. It happens all over. I just put my faith in God now. And I just say, you know what, God, you brought me here. You lead me through it. Because there's nothing I can do. I've done everything right. And I've followed your principles. I've followed your laws. I've kept your laws. I've honored your commandments, and yet my life has not, it has not come right. I don't have the money in the bank account. I don't have anything to retire on. When I think things are starting to go right, then I get a tax reevaluation. I'll end up owing money on my taxes. It's one thing after the other after the other. So I just say, God, it's in your hands. The same way I got better when I took those antibiotics last year. Within the space of a month, I got sick twice, and my doctor was worried. He said, within the space of a month, you've been on antibiotics twice. I'm a little concerned. But I got better. I took the antibiotics and I prayed and I'm well. But it gets to a point where it's like it's too much. Seriously. Really and truly. But all some people have is money. That's all I can say. Money is not everything, I know, but it is important. The same way when I went to that conference in Montreal for the One campaign, I was signing their petitions. I was listening to Bono's music. And then they said, oh, we've got this campaign and we'd like you to come. You've been selected to be a leader for Canada. And I said to Suzanne, I don't have the money to pay for the ticket. I've got no money in my bank account. So she said, I'm going to talk to the board. Bono was still on the board at that time. So they said, we're going to pay for your guys' tickets. You'll have to just pay for your bus fare or your taxi to get to the hotel. We'll pay for your tickets and we'll pay for your hotel. And we'll train you how to work with these politicians. But we didn't know what we were going to get into. It seemed like it was going to be fun, but it was hard work. It was hard work holding them accountable and getting the funding for the poorest. And most of us who are volunteers, they are not rich. Most of us are poor. But we're giving our time. We want to meet new people. We want to make friends. We want to help others. So that's why we do it. Most of us don't have resources. We don't have money in our bank accounts. But we're trying our best to help others. And that's why John Maxwell says you can't teach ethics. And I agree. You can't teach ethics.